welcome to Wendy's Colouring, formerly Happily Handmade. If you haven't watched my washi tape video, which I'm guessing not a huge amount of people will have because it's a bit of an obsession of mine. Yeah, obviously I've changed my channel name, sorry. Yeah, YouTube were changing the way they refer to other channels. And because my name already had an @ sign in it, I had Wendy at Happily Handmade, that was going to be a problem for the way that they were changing the handles. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to change it anyway because of that. So I may as well make it a bit more appropriate to the kind of content that I'm making anyway. So yeah, that's why, if you haven't watched the other one. I've been umming and ahhing about it for a while. It wasn't just them, but they've kind of maybe pushed the button, as it were, really, and think, okay, well, that's not going to work, so I need to change it. Anyway, welcome to today's video, which is obviously my end of the month. What have I got done this month with my colouring? So this one you will have seen, possibly, if you've been watching the channel, that I was working on a colour along in this one, and I have got it pretty much finished. I'm not so sure about the background. I might darken the background. It still feels a little bit light to me. Obviously these, I was trying out different media. So we started off with the distressed watercolours, then I used my Neo 2s, and then my Albert Durers. And it's a mix of mainly Albert Durers. There's a bit of Artex paint pen around some of the leaves and things like that. And I think I did use a bit of Neo as well for the yellow in the background. Oh, and a little bit of my new, I think it was the Calero watercolours that I got last month as well on the Lucky Cat, because he needed to be blingy gold, didn't he? He couldn't not be. But the rest were mainly Albert Durers. I think I did the other little bits and pieces in just to finish it off. But yeah, that's the finished one of my little three ladies out of Rita Berman's new Asian book. It's a beautiful book. Might like to do some more in this month. Get rid of that one. Then this one is my whip that I started this month, but I didn't get hardly any of it done. So only a brief look. I think this is just in Luminance that I'd started. This is basically the book that's been in my work bag, and yeah, work's been busy, so I've not done anything practically in it, because yeah, even when like I say, I go into work early, but even so, I still didn't get very much done because I just had too much actual work to do. So although it's been back and forth to school many times, that's literally as far as I've got, so not very far at all. In Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hannah Carlson, so that's obviously a continuing for next month. I'm not promising I'll get much more done next month. Then I did a buddy colour with the lovely Colouring with Kay. She wanted to work in Fantasy Season by, hold on, I've written it down, Yukato Odi, probably said it wrong, sorry to whoever that is, sorry, but yeah, I had not coloured in this book. I did get it quite a while ago, maybe January, February, something like that, but yeah, I hadn't done any yet, so I was pleased she wanted to do a buddy colour in this, because yeah, it's made me do some. So we've both done this page, and I'll try and add, if I get my hands out of the way, I've got my hands in the way, I'll try and add Kay's at the side. Kay's is lovely. I kind of really like, she's done a tree green, which is common sense, isn't it, really? But yeah, I chose not to do my tree green, and yeah, I'm not totally loving my tree, but we'll come to that in a sec. But here's lovely Kay's, and obviously an amazing piece as usual. Love her metallic sky. Okay, so for mine, yeah, I stupidly did this tree, this kind of brown colour, and now every time I kind of glance at this page from a distance, I kind of feel like this little skeleton is setting fire to the whole tree. It kind of feels like it's slightly on fire, so kind of, I don't know if it works or not. That's what I did anyway, so I have to live with it now, don't I? So this was in Arteza Experts in the main, and I've also used a few of my Tombow erotigens for a change. I hardly ever use them because they're so hard, but yeah, I've got them in the same case. I don't quite know why, but I have them in the same pencil case, and I just needed a couple of colours that I didn't have in the Arteza, and thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And actually they seem to work okay together, so yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I might try and do that more often. There's a little bit of metallic in the ghosts and the smoke and a few other little bits in places. They were my Coliro watercolours, because I've only just got them and I'm a big child and I've got to play with them, obviously. A little bit of my own watercolours as well mixed in. I think I just wanted a slightly lighter shade than the ones I had in the Coliro, and a little bit of Artex markers here and there, but no great shakes. But yeah, so that was my first page in Fantasy Season. I don't think I'd have picked this page if it was just me, so I'm kind of really glad we did a buddy on it, because it's got lots of little things and a big scene. I don't tend to do lots of kind of landscapey scenes, so yeah, I'm pleased she kind of pushed me to do, again, something that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, really. I think that worked for me. So yeah, the paper's quite nice in this book. I quite enjoyed working on it, and like I say, the Artezas and the rotations worked quite nicely. The sky is all colour pencil as well, because I'm a control freak. And yeah, I didn't know what the watercolour was going to be like on its own on this book. I don't mind a little bit of metallic, because I generally do a little bit of pencil colour underneath, so it kind of protects the paper a little bit. But yeah, no, I did the sky all in pencil. Pretty much most of it is in pencil. There's just obviously highlights here and there with the watercolour, just to kind of give it a bit of a sparkly flavour. But yeah, that was my first page in Fantasy Season by that person that I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce again. Then I had a go in Sarah Richter's Dungelbunt. I never know how to say it. I don't think anybody knows how to say it, do they? Unless we're German. But yeah, I had a go at this one. I think this is my second page in this book. Paper in this book is obviously really lovely. It really is super quality books. I haven't got the new one yet, purely because when I've looked at a few flips, it's not the kind of imagery that I tend to work on a huge amount. I got this one because it has portraits in, and obviously I do enjoy portrait every so often. But even these aren't really my cup of tea. You know, I love the women in it, but there's lots of kind of horror things, aren't there, which I'm a big chicken. I don't really watch things like that. Anyway, I digress. Skin was in my Copics first as a base. Then everything else has a base of my Spectrum Noir Tri-Brush markers. I am quite enjoying my Tri-Brush markers. They'll pop up a few times in today's video. Yeah, they're growing on me. I do quite like the handiness of having 3 in your hand at once, and you're not having to go, oh, which one goes with this one. It does take a little bit of the work out of it. And plus I'm not worrying about them so much, because I know I can get ink refills, I know I can get new nibs for them, and they're not silly money. I love my Copics, don't get me wrong, but the price of keeping them running, as well as just buying them initially, is quite big, isn't it? And when you're using them a lot, you kind of, oh, do I want to use it on this? I do still use them, but it's nice to have the Spectrum Noir ones and worry a little bit less, and can just enjoy them and not worry about how much ink I'm putting on the page and how much is absorbing and all of that, really. Anyway, so a layer of all of that, and then I've worked over with my luminance over the top, and then a bit of the Artex pastel paint markers again, which again are popping up every time I do a page, and probably will continue to pop up every time I do a page, because yeah, I think I'm addicted to those Artex markers. They're so handy. Yes, sometimes they need more than one coat of paint on them, but yeah, if you just want a line that you want to get rid of that's just glaring out a little bit, yeah, I'm finding them really handy. But yeah, this was my second page, and I think it's Queen of the Night, isn't it, that I've just done with her bats in her hair. Yeah, I quite enjoyed doing this one. Wasn't totally sure about what to do with her ruffle here, but I kind of went with, oh well, I think we'll have it see-through. I don't know whether that's right or not. That's how I've done it anyway, so worrying about it now like it matters. It doesn't. But yeah, my second page in Sarah Richter's Dungelbunt book. Then, finally, I have persuaded myself to work in Spooky Girl. Yeah, I think the illustrations in this are so cute, aren't they? They're really lovely illustrations. And there is part of me that kind of thinks they don't really need colour in this book, do they? They're cute on their own, even without a bit of colour. And because of the style of them, they kind of work in black and white. But I have coloured one. I digress. So obviously Spooky Girl, Cocoa Wire. So I've done, again... Ooh, that does not want to come off there. Ah! That is not what we wanted. What an idiot. Note to self, do not stick post-it note on the toner page. Urgh. I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been on actually her, couldn't it? And that would have been a lot worse. Again, this is not really my genre of colouring, I think I would say. Overall, I've done it. I quite enjoyed working on it. But yeah, I think my colour palette is possibly a bit bright for Spooky Girl. I think she should be a bit more gloomy, shouldn't she? I kind of tried to do her skin a little bit gloomy, but then I had to do her in a red dress, and then her hair didn't go gloomy, so I don't know. Like I say, it's probably not my genre of colouring, miserable, scary horror colouring. It's probably not me. I won't get another one of these spooky towns, as much as I think they're amazing illustrations. I think they are lovely, and I really enjoy seeing other people having done them, but they're just not my natural colouring style. Anyway, this is, again, back to my Spectrum Noir Tri Brush markers. Really quite like them on this this paper in Spooky Girl. Didn't put a thing behind, and I've got it all over that one, but it's hardly going to matter, is it? So, but yeah, they work quite nice on here, and I'm not kind of, oh, I'm ruining my pens, because it is really nice, smooth paper in this book. So yeah, I was quite happy to work on them with that. But yeah, tri-brush markers, and then just wanted a little bit of finer detail here and there, so I have used my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. I've had a set of them from card making, long time, and they still keep going. They're amazing. Super for really little fine lines like I've done in the grass. They were really good for that. Bit of Artex paint marker, again. Bit of Deco Brush pigment markers here and there. It's mainly for the oranges, because the oranges are not very good in the Artex. I've got both sets of those Artex paint markers, but neither of them I think is a great orange in there, and they're very transparent, all the oranges, or very bright. And I wanted something a little bit more subtle for the pumpkin, just to get rid of the blackness in there. I've used a little bit of my Spectrum Noir flip markers that, again, I got this month in these little background spirals and bats and things like that. Can't really see them. Oh, and the moon as well. I've used them there. And I also used Nouveau glitter markers. I think it was the green one. I used that one as well. And that's pretty much it in my Spooky Girl. Let's say, I don't think her face works particularly well. This is a bit clean looking, isn't it? Some bits I needed to miserable it up a bit more, I think. But it's such a cute book, isn't it? Like, I do think the illustrations are just really interesting on their own. It's just, I need to be more miserable colours to work on it. I always pick too brighter colours. I like a bit of colour. Spooky Girl, Cocoa Wire. Then, this book, if I had to give an award for the book I've enjoyed the most this month, it is definitely Vintage My Room by Chunso. Put my teeth back in. Yeah, I really love this book. It's such a bizarre book, really. And like, if somebody had said, oh, yeah, get a colouring book, it's got like bits in rooms in it, I'd have been like, no, well, that sounds boring. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing this book. So much so that, as you can see, I did do the whole double, not just the single. Let me get rid of my light a bit, because that is shining quite badly, isn't it? So yeah, I started on this side, and I was just working away on the little pans and all the other bits and pieces, cups, chopping board. I love this little cute chicken. Keep my eggs in it. And all the little bits and pieces in here. And for a while, I just literally had just this bit all coloured in, and I was like, I kept saying to my husband, right, I'm going to do this wall brown, because it kind of feels like, you know, it's a 1960s, 70s kitchen. The wall should be brown. But when I'd coloured all this in, I was like, oh, I can't make myself do it brown. I want something a bit brighter than brown. So yeah, I did go for this quite shocking orange. I'm not totally sure about it. And then, as usual, because I'd worked on this side, and obviously this floorboarding carries on across, and obviously the wall carries on across, and I'd mixed this paint. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to do the paint in the background there, because there's no way I'm going to get the exact same colour match. And the same with the floor. Although I knew what pencils I was using, you start using them in a particular way, don't you? And I'd be like, I won't remember what order I've put them in and how I've got them to look like that. If I this one's shining a bit now, isn't it? Ooh. Do you know what? Let's just turn it off. Is that too dark? Oh, that's too dark. There's no winning. Turn it down a bit. Maybe that helps. So yeah, so I thought, well, okay, so I'm going to have to paint that orange, and I'm going to have to do the floorboards and carry that bit on. So then obviously I only had the table and chairs and a few more of the little pots and pans and things. So I thought, I may as well just do it all now. I've got this far, we'll do the double. And I have loved it. I think because I wasn't kind of thinking, oh, I'm going to do the double. I was just kind of, oh, I'll do these little pans because they're cute. Oh, I'll do these little pans because these are really cute. Oh, these teacups. Right, I'll do those, they're cute. And so on around the page. Before you knew it, I'd kind of done them all. And then the same with the other, really. I'll just do the background. Oh, I'll just do the floor. And then, it feels like there's nothing left to do, really. I may as well just get it done. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed it. This I have done in watercolour pencils. I've recently got a small, I think there's 12 in them, set of museum aquarelles, I can't even say it, the Caran d'Ache pencils, and I've also used my Albert Dürer's. Getting the museums was a mistake. I should not have bought a little, it was only because they were winking at me on Amazon, and I thought, oh, look, they're there. I so want to see what they're like. Yeah, I've seen what they're like. I shouldn't have tried them because they're lovely. They're really lovely. And I think for this page, I did use them a lot because the colour pigment in them was so strong. It was kind of what this really needed. This kind of really bright, vivid colour with them. The only thing, because I was kind of using them, in my mind, it was kind of like, do you know what? I'm going to try and do this just with this 12 set and see where I get to. But this green, I was kind of thinking, I wanted it more like a 70s avocado kind of green, which this isn't. It's much more tealy than that. So that's kind of, that wasn't quite the right green for what I wanted. But yeah, they got to bits where I needed some more shades. So I have used my Albert Dürer's with them, and they've worked brilliantly together. And I've really enjoyed working on this page with watercolour. It was worked really nicely. So all of the colour work is Albert Dürer's and that little set of museum aquarelles. This is Arteza craft paint that I've painted. I think there's about 3 coats, but as you can see, I don't know why, but this has a little bit of writing under the page there that, yeah, even 3 coats you can see it's not completely opaque paint, is it? 3 coats and you can still see that little bit of black through, but I thought I'm just going to live with it. I'm not putting like 50 coats on so the page feels really thick, because that's just not nice. And the odd bit of my usual Artex, and I think I did use a bit of Posca for the little steam coming out of the kettle. Oh, I've missed the steam out of that kettle. How naughty. I'll have to go back. It's naughty, it's a whip. I forgot that little bit there. Sorry. But yeah, I have loved doing this page. I really have. I don't know why. I think it's just all the little objects in it are so cheery, and I suppose it is the kind of opposite of the Spooky Girl that I've just been looking at. Like, I like that, but this book makes me smile. There's just something about this little cute chicken and the teapots, and I don't know. I suppose seeing vintage kind of patterns on cookware, maybe that makes me smile as well. Who knows? But yeah, I've really quite enjoyed it. It's quite a fun page. It does look a little bit darker on the camera looking at it than it is in real life. I think this orange is brighter in real life. It looks a little bit duller on here. I could go on all day about this page. I won't. I'll shut myself up. But Vintage My Room by Chunzo. Beautiful book. I love it. It is my current favourite book, I think. a new book to me last month. So 50 Halloween Fairy Houses by Camelia Anjakova. I don't have a huge amount of Camelia's books. I think I've got a Christmas Mandala one. I think I've got another Christmas one. One of the miniature ones I think I've got. And I've recently bought that little farm scenes one as well. But I think those are the only ones I've got. So I didn't have anything Halloween from her. But yeah, this was my first one this month in here. And I've got to be honest, I did really enjoy it. I was a bit like, I'm not sure this is my thing. But yeah, I really, really love doing it. Again, it's my Spectrum Tri-Brush markers by Spectrum Noir. Pretty much all of it is alcohol markers, as you can see. Yeah, I thought they worked. Again, it's quite smooth paper in this. They worked quite nicely over it. I've used some of those Spectrum Noir flip metallic paint pens as well that I got last month that I'm really liking. Bit of my Artex paint markers again. I may as well not say it, just assume I've used them. And a little bit of Deco Brush pigment markers as well, just for some extra colours that I wanted. But yeah, I've really enjoyed working on this. They're simple, aren't they? But they're quite a good little quick colour. And I don't have a huge amount of books that I do a quick colour in and can just kind of leave it and go, yeah, no, I'll leave it at that point. But yeah, I really enjoyed this little witch's shoe. Thought it's cute. It's not too much on there. It was quite fun. I enjoyed doing the background. The background blend was a little bit tricky. You can see it's a little bit, it's not quite perfect around there, but I still quite enjoyed it. It's good practice. And yeah, I don't know. Can we do Halloween pictures in November? I'm not sure. I do like this book. There's some cute things in it. So I might have a look, see if there's some that I could maybe do another one next month, but we'll see. 50 Halloween Fairy Houses by Camelia Anjakova. Lovely book. Then I did a page in Alice in Wonderland. I'm not going to go there. Olga, this lady. Sorry. No. This is a buddy colour with Pixie, who very kindly picked this page. If she's done her page, I shall pop it in there if she's done it in time by the time I've edited and popped this up. I know she's had a very busy month, has Pixie, hasn't she? Doing an amazing amount of videos this month, so I totally get it if you don't get to it, Pixie. No worries at all. But yeah, I did this page, obviously, same page as Pixie if I've popped it on. Who knows? And yeah, the first page in this book, I've quite enjoyed it. It's a bit of a tricky page, really. I don't know why, but when we talked about picking this page, I kind of hadn't realised it was a beach scene. I think I saw the building and thought, oh yeah, I quite fancy doing the building. And because I'd looked at it on my phone, I hadn't kind of quite taken on board what all of this was. And when I came to actually sit down and do this, I thought, actually, I've never actually done any kind of proper sea and sea foam and beach lines and all of this. How do I do that? So yeah, it was a bit of a learning curve was this page, really. I quite like it. I've kind of deliberately not kind of gone Alice in Wonderland with the colours. I thought it's clearly like some beautiful tropical place, isn't it? I'm going to try and do it in that flavour, really. So this is a mixture. I have used my Copics on this. I've used my Tri-Blend brushes, again from Spectrum Noir. The background is another of the Arteza craft paints. Spectrum Noir flip markers again, and a little bit of Holbein colour pencil just to add a little bit of shade into the bunny and a few other little places that I just wanted a bit more definition in it. But yeah, it was a reasonably quick colour, and this paper in this book did not like my acrylic paint. Yeah, it really curled. It's still a little bit curly, but yeah, as it was drying, it was really bad. But yeah, it's dried okay. I've kept it underneath a few things and it's starting to flatten out again now. And I do like the contrast of the blue with it. When I didn't have a background on it, because I hadn't necessarily intended to put the blue on at all, but all the white around it felt really empty. So I just felt it needed something, and the darker blue I thought would be a nice contrast to the kind of scene that you're looking through. Kind of made it feel like a little bit like a window to me, so I kind of went with that idea really. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this one. Thank you for picking it, Pixie. I can't say that. Picking it, Pixie. Stupid. Put my teeth in. Because yeah, again, I don't think it was a page I would have picked purely by myself. I'd have probably gone for something a bit more obvious, kind of Alice in Wonderland, because you know I'm like, although I do quite like him with his hands up, yes, pick me, pick me. Oh, piggy. But yeah, there's some cute little pages in this book, so no doubt it will be back soon, because again, it's a good little quick colour book. Alice in Wonderland by Olga, no, Goloveshkina, something like that. Sorry. My terrible pronunciation. Then I've also done a page in Day of the Dead by Sarah Walsh. First page, I've done a lot of firsts this month actually, haven't I? Now I'm thinking about it. First page in this one, and it kind of reminds me very much of the first page I did in my, is it festivals, carnivals? Can't remember what the other one is, but very similar to the other one that I had the ladies all in their costumes picking up. And yeah, this one just amused me. I know the skeletons, but there's just something about them that's quite funny, isn't it? It just, yeah, it does entertain me a little bit. Paper in these books is really, it's quite thick paper. I'm not sure these are in print anymore, but the quality of the paper is really good. So most of the ladies is in Inktense pencils, and I have used the Inktense palette as well to do most of her. I think all the backgrounds I initially did in Inktense palette because I just wanted it black, because they're so colourful. I thought I don't want to see it, I want that colour to really have a contrast. But when I did it with the Inktense palette, yeah, I wasn't loving the finish of it, even though it was quite dark and it wasn't too liney or anything. But yeah, it just didn't sit quite right behind them. So as you can probably see, I have used some of my own metallic watercolour over the top, a couple of coats of it. It's kind of like a chameleon one, so it kind of is reddy purple depending which direction you look at it. But yeah, it's one of the ones I've made myself. Video is way back towards the start of my videos if you want to see how I make them. It's long-winded, I'm not gonna lie, you have to have some patience. What else have I used? Spectrum flip markers, they've been popular this month. I've used them a little bit just on little things like the trim and her hat, and you can see there's a little bit on her forehead and a few other little bits and pieces here and there. I think they're on this lady's forehead as well. Obviously my Artex markers, Deco brush markers, and a bit of Signo gold gel pen. Actually that's what that probably is there on the top, because it's not quite as sparkly as the others, is it? So it's probably that. But yeah, they just make me smile. They're just quite funny little characters, aren't they? So yeah, first page in Day of the Dead by Sarah Walsh. Then a couple of my favourites that I've not worked in I think for a couple of months. I've not done a huge amount of Clara last month, I don't think. So Fairy Miracles by Clara Markova. I did this page, the Batty page. I don't think I'd done any of the Halloween pages in Clara's books. So yeah, I kind of thought, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a little bit this month in her books. I think this was the second one that I did this month. Yeah, I've picked these up in the wrong order, but not that it really matters. So this is all in Holbein's colour pencil. I really like the Holbeins on Clara's paper. They just seem to sit really well. Obviously they're quite vivid colours. They have a really strong colour palette, the full set. So I really enjoy working in her books with those the usual Artex markers, dual metallic brush pen, a bit Pentel, not sure where, no idea where, oh, a little bit in the wings, in the flower heads, I think that's where, and then some diamond sparkles. They're like have I got it here? I've not put it away. One of these, I don't know what they're called, got paint on it, Sparkle Diamond PX I can't even say it, let alone. I don't know. They look like stickles, but they're not stickles. Maybe they're still made by stickles. It's that, anyway. That I've stupidly not put away. But yeah, that's it, on the moon, over the top of the moon. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really like the background. My page in Fairy Miracles by Clara Markova. And then I've also got Tenderful Enchantments by Clara Markova again. I think I worked on this one first. I should have shown this one first. But yeah, I did the other bat. Can't even get my own list off. Again, no, not a huge amount of change in the materials. So it's Holbein's again. A couple of luminance here. I think I like the luminance black. Holbein's black doesn't seem to get really dark black when you want it. Don't quite know why that is. Background has got some deco art. Can't speak today, sorry. Galaxy Glitter Silver Moon, that I can't say. And some stickles. Neon Flamingo. I don't know where I've used it though. Where have I used that? Oh, it might be on the wings. I think it's on the little wings of the butterflies. Or whatever they are. Midnight flying creatures with wings. Moths. I don't know. But yeah, I did this one first over the last one. And I realised afterwards, actually I've made those pumpkins quite... dull's not quite the word I want. But yeah, they're a bit more subtle compared to... Oh, excuse my creaky chair. At one point I might get a new chair that doesn't creak every time I slightly move at all. It is annoying to listen to, I know, sorry. Where's my batty page? Oh yeah. So, yeah, I kind of thought, I don't know why, but I'd realised when I'd started working on this, oh, these are a bit tame in colour for me. I'm brightening it up this time. So I've got a more kind of subtle one and a more in-your-face one. I don't know why. I just got halfway through. I was enjoying doing the pumpkins though. There's something quite relaxing about them. And obviously I've done the bats. Again, very similar. Different sky colour. And like I say, a bit of galaxy sparkle in the background on that one. But yeah, that was my last Tenderful Enchantments Clara Markova this month. I've got quite a few done this month for me. I also did, which is completely different, one of these sticker mosaics. Highly expensive, £3 from B&M. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether this was something I'd do or not really, but yeah, I picked this owl, so I did him. As you can see, I'm sure you've seen these in the shops yourself, you get a whole load of stickers and you have to kind of place them. Get rid of that. Oh, sticking to my hand, get off. You have to place them in the right place, and this was a bit annoying in that the print for these little triangles goes over the edge into the other triangle, so yeah, sometimes you've put some down without thinking about it, and then you've realised that, right, I don't know what this one is because it's underneath that one, so you end up having to peel them back. But yeah, I quite like it. It was a bit tricky. I think I've kind of done the most difficult one in this book to start off with, but I bought it because it had the owl, so I don't know how many of the other ones I'll do, but I quite enjoyed doing the owl. But the sticky on this is rubbish. Like, they're all peeling back already. Hardly even, like, I've probably... See, that's going back even more. But yeah, I suppose maybe I should coat them in PVA or something. Has anybody done any of these? Do you coat yours to keep them on? Because the sticky is rubbish. They're stickers that have one job to stick, but they cannot do it. But yeah, I quite enjoyed doing it anyway. So, Kaleidoscope Sticker Mosaic Wild Creatures. Highly expensive. But I quite enjoyed it. And then my last thing that I've done this month is just catch up a little bit in my colouring journal because I got a little bit behind. So I was up to, I was up to there in September. So I've put September's on now and I've done all my writing about September. Added those on. And then I've started on October. I've laid out all October and I've put some of the embellishments on. I've just not done the writing about it, which I'll do after I've done this video while it's fresh in my mind as I've just talked about them all. So I've just got those to write about for this month. And obviously my whip and my sticker to do. So yeah, I'm back to up to date in my little colouring record log. I don't know what we're calling it. Scrapbook. I don't know. Whatever this is that I'm recording all my colourings in, it's back and up to date now, other than my writing. So I'm ready for November. And that is pretty much everything that I've been doing in October. Hopefully there was something that interested you. What's your favourite? Anything in particular you've enjoyed? Sorry if I've not done the page that you wanted me to do from my colouring plans. I know, I've tried. There's just not enough hours in the day. Sadly, I have to go to work sometimes, unfortunately. Thank you for watching. Hope there was something that interested you. Bye bye.